A guy named Det Bowers. Let's pause there. Det Bowers. All right, so we already know what he's going to say is probably hilarious. Det Bowers. Okay. Well, he's one of the 6 Republican primary challengers to Lindsey Graham for his Senate seat in South Carolina. And Politico uncovered some remarks he made during a sermon when he was a pastor of a church back in 2001. Now, what he said has to be one of the weirdest and creepiest and most selfish rants I've ever heard in my life. So he's talking about the issue of the family. You know how these guys always talk about traditional family, man? Well, he said this, quote, I find that in about 95% of broken marriages, though the husband's the one that ran out on his wife, the wife loves her children more than she does her husband. That is an abominable idolatry. Do you hear me, ladies? It is an abominable idolatry to love your children more than you love your husband, and it will ruin your marriage. Yet you blame it on him because he ran off with some other woman? He did run off with some other woman, and you packed his bags, all of his emotional bags. You packed for him. Is that true in every case? No, but it's true in the vast preponderance of them. You just ran off. You just ran him off. You paid more attention to your children than you did to him. Oh, he doesn't need me? He needs you more than they do. He chose you. They didn't. It's an abominable idolatry. Whoa, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? Now, I mean, I don't know anything about this guy's private life, but I could almost guarantee you that entire rant was geared towards how he feels personally about his situation. He's angry at his wife or whatever because, you know, she pays more attention to the kids, and he's like a toddler deep down. He feels inadequate. He feels insecure, and he's like, well, now I'm going to lash out and say it's the woman's fault because, hey, you need to love me more than you love the kids. First of all, who the fuck? I don't have kids, but I know that that's a gross statement. The idea that you're trying to measure the amount of love between a mother and the kid or, you know, you and her, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Shouldn't it be, first of all, shouldn't it not even be a question? Like, you don't try to measure that or talk about love me more or them more or whatever. It shouldn't even be a question. But obviously, shouldn't it be equal? Like, yeah, okay, we're a family. I love the kids. I love you. Like, to say, like, you know, I love you more than you or you more than you. Like, when I was a kid, me and my sister, she would ask my mom, like, oh, who's your favorite? Who do you love more? My mom would be like, why would you ask that? Obviously, I love you both. But this guy's like, no, forget, like, doing what's right, which, of course, is that response. Like, I love you both. We're fucking family. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, love me more than them. You need to love your kids less and pay more attention to me. What a sick person. And, of course, again, the irony of him giving a sermon, like, trying to tell people what is moral and what is right, as he's advocating for something that is totally immoral, gauging the amount of love and telling your wife to love your kids less. And also, I love how I said, no, it's the preponderance of cases. In the majority of cases, this is what happens. The majority of cases, how do you know? What, did you talk to every person who was divorced? First of all, is it true that in 95% of cases, the guy is cheating and that's why there's a divorce? No. And is it true that even when a guy is cheating, you blame her for loving the guy less? Like, okay, think about how little he's putting on the guy there, you know? He's putting nothing on the man. He's saying, no, the man is the victim. Obviously, if there's a divorce, the man is definitely the victim because obviously it's the woman's fault, duh. And if the guy's cheating on the girl, well, it might be acceptable if she wasn't paying attention to you 24/7 and loving you more than the kids. There's a lot of punk-ass bitches walking around pretending to be men. That's all I have to say about this.